my friends. Welcome to the Let's Get Gritty podcast with yours truly, Dr. India White. I'm so thrilled to be here with you this week. I hope that you are winning, keeping your resilience, making sure you're being responsible, holding yourself accountable, all that good stuff. Wishing you nothing but wonderful vibes. I know many of us are ending the school year and we are absolutely excited because we get to enjoy our summers with our families and do a lot of great things. And so with that said, before I get started into the show, I definitely want to make some announcements for you rock stars. First things first, the Let's Get Gritty podcast with Dr. India White will be featured on Spotify and on social media platforms. So please make sure that you're tuning in to see the show if you're wanting to see repeats or whatever. And I'm thankful that I have passed 50 episodes. Whoop, whoop. Now, I also want to remind you guys of following me when you get a chance on social media. So my Facebook is Miss India White. LinkedIn is The India White. Twitter is Indy Speak and Teach. Instagram is Indy238. YouTube is India White 123. TikTok is Dr. India White. And Threads is Indy238. It's the same as, I think it's the same as Instagram. Yeah. I also wanted to remind you guys to please come and visit me whenever you get a chance at some of these conferences. I'll be doing a little keynote in Vegas next week. So if you're over there in Las Vegas, I can't wait to see you guys and to connect as we talk about math and we talk about grit and all these other great things. Thank you, Sabbath, for the opportunity. I also wanted to remind you guys about the FCTM conference in Florida. We are so thrilled to have you guys. I'm honored to be a part of the FCTM committee and to also have a couple of sessions there. I'll also be hollering at you guys at the CAMP conference. We'll be at the CAMP conference in July in Texas. So I can't wait to see you guys there. I'm super thrilled about it. And then, of course, I also am excited about NCSM and NCTM that's coming up, which all of us, I think, are thrilled about. And also ICTM. Can't wait to see you guys there. And there are some others that I will be doing my best to appear to and to see you all as well and to be connected. I'm super thrilled. Just got some other conferences, confirmations, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys there. Again, from the bottom of my heart, I thank all of you, all of your leaders, everyone that has ever, requested me as a speaker, requested me to be on the team. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. Thank you, Sabbath. Y'all are a blessing. And so with that said, I now want to go into reminding you guys also of the Grit Mini Workshop on Grassroots Workshops website. Thank you, Robert and team. We're super excited because people are finally starting to notice this website and notice that it's out there for them. Something that you can do this summer, something that you can do and plan for a future PLC. There are so many different things you can do with this. So please, let us serve you and help you to help students so that they can harness grit and thrive in your classrooms. Now, before I get into this exciting topic, I just want to just remind you guys that this show is all about building grit, talking about grit for leaders, teachers, and the like. And so with that said, I know that we're right around the corner for summer. Congratulations to all the babies and the students that are graduating from school, that are getting into college, being promoted and whatnot. I just hope that everything works out for everyone. Congratulations to the teachers and all the work that you've done, the rigor that you have put into instruction, into the administrators and you principal rock stars and you soups out there, you superintendents, doing a fabulous work. Keep being amazing. And to all the school board members, we could not do it without you. We could not do it without parents in the community as well. So I want to just thank all of you guys for a fabulous school year as we're ending the school year. And I want to talk with you today about, now that we've had a successful year, how are we going to enjoy a gritty summer? And so I wanted to talk to you guys because I know so many leaders, we put ourselves last, like Simon Sinek's book, Leaders Eat Last. Thank you, Hillsborough County, for that experience. That's so true. You know, great leaders put themselves last. They're doing everything for everyone else, and then it's about them. And so as a result, it's like you get all this stuff going and then you don't know how to stop, especially principals and administrators. And so I want to first just talk from the bottom of my heart to superintendents, principals, administrators, district leaders, instructional coaches, all of you rock stars that are leading this. I want to thank you for what you're doing, but I also want to encourage you and to remind you to also practice self-care, take care of yourself, because this job is very addictive and it can take over to where you're like, oh, like one more thing I have to do, or, you know, I've got to, you know, reset the lockers, or, you know, like whatever it is that you have to do. And sometimes you get lost in the job, you get lost in the work, you know what I mean? So I want to just encourage you guys that as you're being amazing, yes, stay amazing, also take care of yourself. And so with that said, before I get in my little thingamajig, I want to show you guys some things that I was able to find. And I also want to remind you of the GRIT Facebook groups. So if you're an administrator, there is a GRIT Facebook group for you, GRIT workbook for administrators. There's a GRIT workbook for Facebook group for teachers, and a GRIT workbook Facebook group for students. There's also one for leaders. So I think I've covered all you guys, and one for families, for parents. So anyway, so let's get into this. I want to look at the first article. And the first art's out. It says how to use summer vacation productively as a teacher. So if you're a teacher and you're on summer vacation, your goal may simply be to check out mentally, right? For 10 weeks, lay on a beach and relax. Hey, I definitely plan on going to the beach. So I totally relate with this. I need to definitely go to the beach. Anyway, and it says, however, summer vacation is an important time for teachers. You can be productive, have fun, and de-stress all at the same time. That's so key. But how do you do that, right? So let's look and see what they have to say here. So it says, the last days of school, you know, you're going to stand with all your colleagues. You're going to inhale bus exhaust fumes. The sun beats on your face as you wave goodbye to the buses slowly. That's if you're down south, right? And it's the time of the year where there aren't any papers to grade. There aren't any alarm clocks. Please enjoy that first week with no alarm clocks. And then it says, and most important, you do not have to use the summer restroom or use the restroom on a schedule. You're probably tempted to just ride the waves of summer and spend a few months in a time warp. However, you can also choose to make your summer both fun and productive, which may be the better option in the long run. So they are talking about now that you're coming to the summer, what to do. So deliberate decompression. Listen up, teachers. Listen, okay? Deliberate decompression. So as teachers, yes, we should be productive on summer vacation. However, to be productive, we must first learn to take a break from everything and to de-stress ourselves. So they're talking about a study in 2016 by Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. They found that 46% of teachers, 46% reported high levels of stress daily in their jobs. Okay. It says, yes, stress has all sorts of negative impacts, including sleep, mood, appetite, cardiovascular health. So before you plunge into the summer of working on your goals, take some time to unwind. That's wonderful advice. And then it says, while it would be nice to be transported away to a tropical paradise for weeks and to just lay on the beach and sip on or drinks with umbrellas, it is not usually feasible on a teacher's budget. So you have to get a bit creative. There are a lot of ways you can de-stress yourself, dusting off your gym membership. You can walk, lift weights, swim, take a yoga class, or whatever suits your level of activity. You can sew, you can paint, you can lounge in the pool, right? So all year long, we tell our students that their brains need breaks from learning to work effectively. Well, our brains are no different. And so I want to just, kind of piggyback on what the Rockstar was saying in that article, that blog, because, yes, when you are in the realm of education, it can become very addictive, because especially if you love to be gritty and you like to be productive and getting things done. And some of us get caught up into planning. And I know some of you watching are guilty of this, where you're like, oh, I can plan out the entire next school year. And so you never hit pause, right? And then what happens? Now, keep it real with me now. I know some of you listening, you have been here, and I'm speaking from experience, where you're like, okay, so you planned out the school year, you have all your lessons done, and you're like, I'm rocking it out. What happens the first weeks of school? By September, you feel like you're burned out. Why? Because you never took time for yourself. And so I want to encourage the rock stars, the overachiever, the gritty rock star out there that's like, I'm going to just nail it this summer. I'm going to go through all of my curriculum, all of my math curriculum, all of my supplemental material, looking at all of my cultural responsive material, all the stuff that you're doing, whatever it is that you're doing, and you're ready to just hit the ground running this summer. I want to encourage you to take it easy. Also to educators that are doing summer school, to the administrators that are resetting lockers and you're monitoring summer school, or you are opening and closing the school for, other events, Saturday events and whatever else the school has going on, or you're doing registrations. I want to encourage all of you to somehow find time to pump the brakes. I'm going to now shift the focus to administrators, because this reminds me of how you don't really get a break. You get maybe 3 weeks. And even in that 3 weeks, you're tempted to work, right? Because you're like, we've got to reset lockers. We've got to register. We've got to make sure the school's safe. We've got to make sure the curriculum is where it needs to be. We've got to make sure that, the master schedule's done. All this. Listen, you are irreplaceable and we need you. Yes, what you're saying is absolutely correct. Thank you for being productive. Thank you for being gritty, but learn how to space out the work. Please, principals and administrators and district superintendents, please find a way to carve out some time for you and your family, your loved ones, friends, whatever, so that when the new school year hits, you're not looking at August whatever or September whatever like a deer in the headlights, and you're like, oh my gosh, I got no time off, right? And then you're taking all of last year into the new year and you never pressed pause, and now it's too late and you're burned out first week of school. Don't be that person. Don't be that rock star leader. Learn to, yes, prioritize and learn how to take breaks so that you can be available for the next school year. Okay, so I'm saying that in love because you already know who you are out there that does that. I've been there. I'm guilty as well, and I'm preaching to the choir. So anyway, so with that said, let's keep going. So we're going to talk about grit, but at the same time, how to have a balance. So now talking about creating a professional development plan for your personal life. Now this speaks exactly to how I was just giving examples to how burnout happens and how we can prevent that over the summer. So it says, once you have taken a week or two to decompress, then develop your goals for the summer. Start by reflecting on your school year and make a list of what went well, what didn't. Using that list, identify some areas that you would want to work on over the summer. You could design a lesson or learn a new classroom management strategies. There's so many people, experts in our space, right, that are giving us so many teaching materials and incentivizing things for us. So there's a plethora to pick from. Now it says, once you've decided on the areas that you want to focus on, then there are different ways that you can use them as a part of your professional development credit. Okay, so look and see if there are online webinars. I know some of you will also be taking various classes or attending conferences to get points towards your professional development certifications. Excellent. And for you that are trying to get certified, keep going, stay gritty. You've got this. Now, so they're saying here, so there's online webinars that are available for you. And then you can also identify books or any other resources. See if there's some professional development that you can do, maybe one over the summer. If you're like, oh, I do want to do something. See if you can just schedule maybe one or two, as long as it doesn't like push you over the edge. Recognize the reality. This is it. It's still summer, right? So you probably do have plans for visiting your family, going on vacation and whatnot. So it's portable. So you can take it while you go for the webinars that are online, which is great. And then it says, spend some time tweaking and tinkering. So yes, I would say do this, but also, like I said, make sure that you're balancing out your time so that you're not burning out. Okay. So it says a good place to start is with your teacher files. Okay. You may have started with an organization system at some point and it probably fell apart, right? So spend some time going through any papers or computer files that you keep as a part of your teaching, right? Make folders for activities, lesson plans, tests, things like that. Maybe you have a digital platform and you weren't able to really utilize it the way you wanted to. So this is the time to see, like, maybe there's one thing or two things on that digital platform, any resources or any games, whatever, that you can really start taking advantage of for next school year, right? Speaking of that, they went right into this. Reorganizing so that you can apply any digital materials to use with your students. Go Gators! So, for example, summer's a good time to freshen up your classroom website. That's good, right? Freshen up your syllabus. Listen, true story. So, I used to prepare a syllabus, and it was, I want to say, at least 14 pages. Every school year, I was wasting mini trees. So I had to learn to put things on the website and to print to where my syllabus became very efficient and budget friendly and eco-friendly. So I got it down from like 14 pages to like 4 pages. And then I did like 14 pages to like 2 pages. And then eventually just online, giving the kids a QR code or a link, something like that. I would highly recommend you do that because a 14-page syllabus, it's so funny because you spend all this time preparing this syllabus and you're so proud of it. And then you give it to the students. They're going to throw it on the ground anyway. They're going to throw it in the trash. They're going to crumble it up. They're going to trace your face with pencil and make you look like a monster anyway. So why waste all of that paper and all of that ink? I would say to preserve it and find a way to have a QR code so that when parents come to open house, then they can scan that QR code and they can get your syllabus and all the good stuff that they need about the school, your classroom website, and things like that. You can also, if you do want to do a one-pager, you could do a one-pager, for the students and maybe just have them keep that one-pager in the front of their binders or whatever it is. Or, like I said, provide a link so that they can see everything right there too. So, like they're saying, just making sure that your systems are efficient, as you're preparing. If you have the time to squeeze it in, I think that's definitely an area of focus. So now let's get going back to during the school year. It's hard to find time to do it, like adding those links and things, but in the summer you can do it while catching up on your Netflix series. Then it says, get in a good frame of mind, get gritty, optimistic, meditate, do what you have to do, right? And so it says, during the summer, de-stressing is an important part of being productive. It helps you to reset your mind so you can engage in other activities such as personal development and tinkering with all the digital tools, right? So this is a really good article. And I think that, we as leaders, we definitely have to do better about self-care and love while being gritty and finding ways to persevere when we are, like, oh gosh, it's summer. I just want to relax. I don't really want to do much of anything, but finding a way to motivate yourself and to get passionate about the purpose. Like, why do I need to get up and do this? Doesn't mean you have to get up at 6 a.m. But when you get up, when your body says, okay, you're not overworked, you're not burned out, you can afford to get up now, then that's when you get up and you set your schedule. So you might have been used to getting up every day at 5 a.m., 4 a.m. Maybe now set your alarm, get up at 10 a.m. and, start looking at different things that you can do. Like, when is your vacation time? I mean, you've got 3 months to plan this, right? When is your vacation time? When is your professional development time? Are you going to attend any conferences? When is your time to plan for, setting up your classroom, setting up your office, meeting with teachers, meeting with, students, meeting with parents, registering people, like, what is it? So getting organized, I would highly recommend that, get like some kind of gritty calendar where you are able to schedule yourself out and prioritize yourself first, but really make it plain, like make it practical so that you can start moving forward. All right. So let's keep going. I want to now talk with you about another article that I found on the web for us, and it's talking to administrators. And so it says here, what are the best ways to improve administrative skills for increased team productivity? So if you're trying to improve, and this is on LinkedIn, go LinkedIn. I absolutely love LinkedIn. So this is the article. And so it says, here are some things that you can do. So it says, set clear and realistic objectives. That's the first thing they want you to do. Organize your tasks and prioritize your work. Exactly, right? Communicate effectively and respectfully. Delegate, delegate, delegate. Number 4, delegate, delegate, delegate. Say it with me. Delegate, delegate, delegate tasks and empower your team. If I ever knew the power of delegation, right? And then it says, number 5, solve problems and make decisions. And then they're going on. So it says here, first things first, when you leaders, you rock star administrators, principals, superintendents, district reps, when you are setting clear and realistic objectives, one of the first things to do to improve your administrative skills is to set clear and realistic objectives. Yes, they're talking about the SMART goals. I think every leader has heard of this. SMART goals. Are they specific? Are they measurable? Are they achievable? Are they relevant? And are they time bound? There you go. Gritty. So specific. Are they measurable? Are they achievable? Are they relevant? And are they time bound? Grit always considers time management. Grittiness always considers time management. And then it says they should be aligned with your vision, mission, and values. So pull up your school district's mission and vision and figure a way out to where you can make all of this kind of congeal and work together. Then it says here, by setting SMART objectives, you can focus on your efforts, track your progress, and evaluate your results. Great. And then let's keep it moving. Number 2, organize your tasks and prioritize your work. This is so imperative. Oh my word. So another way to improve your administrative skills is to organize your tasks and prioritize your work. You can use various tools and methods to plan your daily, weekly, and monthly activities such as calendars, agendas, checklists, right? Pull out that administrator team to-do list agenda, figure out what you guys still need to get done. And then it says, by organizing and prioritizing, you can reduce stress, avoid procrastination, and meet deadlines. Deadlines, 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 deadlines. All right. Next, number 3, communicate effectively and respectfully. This is everything, right? We all come from different backgrounds, different upbringings, different cultural situations, different dynamics. So this is key. It says you should communicate effectively and respectfully with your team, members, peers, managers, customers, and stakeholders. You should use clear, concise, and courageous language. You should listen actively. You should provide feedback and avoid misunderstandings. Now, I want to say something here. Yes, this is wonderful. But when you're doing this, it says use the appropriate channel for communication. Is it an email? Or should I call that person? Should I do a video conference or a face-to-face meeting? But I do want to say this, that when you are providing feedback and you're providing constructive criticism, I just spoke about criticism the other day. It's imperative that you understand that, when you are providing criticism, do your best to not break down the person or break their spirit, but to give them the wisdom and the constructive criticism that they need to become better and to help the team vision and mission to thrive even greater. So keeping that in mind when you're providing the feedback, because, especially when you're a beginning administrator, sometimes, when you first start out, you're very power hungry at times. You can be, and you can feel like, oh, well, I have the title. So now, big shot, and sometimes you have to remember that, the greater the title, the greater the servant, the greater the service. and to be mindful that people, placed us in these positions, whether it's administrator or things like that, because they trusted us with themselves and they trusted us with the vision. And so the best thing that we can do is to continue to convince them that we're on board with them and that it's not like us versus them, or it's not like we're some type of like reigning lord or something, but that we are in alignment with everyone else and that we're just like everyone else. So keep that in mind, you rockstar administrators and leaders, as you're doing this work. Now, let's keep going. So it says, the next tip says, delegate tasks. I love delegation. Delegating tasks. And I think the reason why is because I like to trust people and I like to see what they've got. Because, I mean, it has to be true that, if you trust people, you're going to see, a different perspective, a different vision. And so it doesn't hurt at all, right? So it says delegating tasks is another way to improve your administrative skills and to increase your team's productivity. You should delegate them tasks that are suitable for your team members' skills, interests, and development needs. Okay, you should provide clear instructions, right? This is key. Many people work for you, but they just need clarity, right? Expectations and resources, and monitor their performance. Now, monitoring their performance does not mean that you have to be like a helicopter mom or like micromanaging. You just have to make sure that you have some type of check-in system so that you're not going crazy either, right? Because you don't want to be like, okay, I trust them, but then I don't know, I got to check every 30 seconds. Like, you want to be able to breathe a little bit yourself. And then it says here, by delegating tasks, you can free up your time, enhance your team's motivation, and foster their growth. Remember, they're on your team for a reason. They have the credentials, so trust them. Now, number 5, solve problems and make decisions. The last way to improve your administrative skills is to solve problems and make decisions. You should identify the root causes of the problems. Then you're going to generate and evaluate possible solutions and implement and follow up on the best ones. I love this. Listen, you should make decisions based on facts, data, logic, and consult with relevant parties when needed. Powerful. Data. Give me the data. Give me the data. Data. Give me the data, because you cannot go wrong with data. And when you're doing data-driven decision making, you cannot go wrong with that. So keep that in mind. So that was some advice that they were giving us. And I want to now talk about, well, what about the kids? Because the kids are going to be out of summer or out of school. So what do we do with the babies? I'm going to talk about teenagers. And I think it's because that's like my world. But this applies to everyone. So it says 12 ways to help your teen to have a productive summer and still have fun. Look at this little happy family. All right. So it says, if you're anything like me, you want your kids to have fun and memorable summer. There are so many different things that are going on this summer in your local areas and statewide that you can get plugged into. So let's get into it. Get a part-time job. So this is so just true. If your baby's like 14 or plus, it's time to look for a job or time to start that business. I'm all about entrepreneurship. So, most middle and high schoolers are perfectly capable of working a part-time job over the summer so they can bring in a few extra bucks, yes, to pay for their summer fun. So maybe there's some things they want to do. They want to go to the skating rink. They want to go out with their friends. They want to go here, do there. Then, yeah, bring in their own money, right? And then it says, plus, it's a great way for them to build confidence, dip their toes in working in the world, and getting accustomed to having a boss. Powerful. Okay, so it says some things, here's some areas that they have for us, that they highlighted for us. So it says there's a store clerk, there's a cashier bagger, food service, a camp counselor, they could be a lifeguard, a golf caddy, a swim instructor, a babysitter, right? Childcare, landscape, lawn mowing. They could be a tutor, a pet sitter, a dog walker, movie theater attendant, and some of them could even work in nursing home facilities or like living retirement type of places. So that's really great for for our teens if you're out there in this world. Now, with teens. Now, snag an internship. They could do that as well. So they could snag an internship. They could find ways to build a connection that can lead to a future job. This is great. Publix is hiring. I'm sure they can work at, other different places as well. Next one, take a summer school class. Right. So for the kids that are super gritty, super genius, academic, higher achieving, labeled gifted, advanced, those kids, they might need to do that to stimulate that intelligence, right? So they can take a summer school class, or if they're wanting to get ahead, if they're wanting to skip a grade, this is another way that they can do that. If they want to take college advanced placement courses and they want to maybe start with a course over the summer so that they can get a step ahead, this is the way that you can do that. Then it says they can tutor young kids. They can learn life skills, which is great. Okay. So they can change a tire. That's pretty powerful. I've never changed a tire. So it says you can do laundry, you can cook, bake, yes, all day, budget, organize, investing basics, and then learning how to write a check. Okay, next. Teach them how to drive. Learn how to drive. This one is very, help us all, right? For all of us that are dealing with teens. So it says you can sign them up for a driver's ed class or defense driving class to round up their skills. Even if your new driver knows a lot of the basics, summer is a great time to teach them, like the highway driving when the roads aren't busy, nighttime driving, and other driving skills that they need to work on. Excellent. They can volunteer. Excellent. Learn how to pay it forward. And not only just that, that can also be attributed to if they're wanting to go to college and they're needing community service hours, they can start now, right? So they can volunteer for the YMCA, right? They can fold towels there. They can do all kinds of stuff. Volunteer for Boy Scouts, volunteer for Special Olympics, volunteer at a local library, Habitat for Humanity, help out a local food bank. The options are there, guys. So let's get our teens plugged in. It says here we can get them in shape, which is great. So there's some free gym memberships for high schoolers, I guess. Planet Fitness. Oh, interesting. Then it says plan a few adventures. So whether that's going to a museum or a cool historical site. And then it says do a cool craft, right? Whether that's like painting or whatever, helping them with organizing. And then this list just goes on and on and on. And so I think it's pretty neat that we're talking about this. So that's definitely some really cool ways to have a gritty summer and to enjoy a gritty summer in the perspective lanes that we fit in, whether it's you're working with teens or kiddos and you're trying to keep them productive, or, especially like swimming lessons is wonderful. Helping them with landing a job if they're, teenager, helping them to drive if they're at that age where they can start considering a permit. Those are some great ideas. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this podcast about having a great summer. And I think, my whole heart, my whole vibe to you is make it happen. Yes. Do what you got to do to grind, but also take care of yourself and make sure that, you're outlining for yourself what you're going to do these next 3 months to make it as productive, but as peaceful and as memorable as possible so that you and your family, your team, your friends can continue to win in the long run. So with that said, thank you so much for joining me on the Get Gritty podcast with yours truly, Dr. India White. Please check out my website, www.indiawhite.com or india-white.com for books, blogs, or to schedule me for your next speaking or coaching event. Please remember that the show will be featured on Spotify and on social media outlets. Also, make sure you're following me when you get a chance on social media. I hope to see you. Facebook is Miss India White. LinkedIn is The India White. Twitter is Indie Speak and Teach. Instagram is Indie238. YouTube is India White 123. TikTok is Dr. India White. And I hope to see you guys at some of these events coming up, whether it's in Vegas at the end of the month or FCTM or camps or whatnot. I'll be looking out for you. So please bring your love. I'll be waiting. And with that said, I also wanted to encourage you to check out the Grit Mini Workshop whenever you get a chance on the Grassroots Workshop website. And again, you guys are fabulous. Enjoy the rest of your finishing out the school year. For those that have finished already, congratulations to those that are finishing. Keep grit, take grit with you no matter what. All of you watching, stay gritty. And until next time.